Welcome everyone to Visitation. I want to offer a special welcome from the city of Frederick. We have Mayor Michael O'Connor, our Economic Development Director, Richard Griffin, Mary Ford-Nall, who is, as far as I can tell, the organizer of everything in Frederick, our District 3 State Senator Karen Lewis-Young is with us as well, so welcome. And we have Maryland Historical Trust Director Elizabeth Hughes. And I also want to recognize our two partners, Lance Ducard of OTJ Architects and our partner here in the restaurant, Brian Voltaggio. So we are in the former chapel of the Visitation Academy. Construction of the chapel was started in 1849 and the chapel was finished and consecrated in 1852. With the blessing of the Archdiocese of Baltimore, Father John Williamson of St. John's Parish next door officially deconsecrated the chapel in 2024. As you can see, the original altar and stained glass has been painstakingly restored and preserved, and now the space is adaptively reused by us as the Wyatt Oak Tavern, managed by our partner and highly skilled chef, Brian Voltaggio. So welcome, and with that, I'll introduce the mayor.
Well, thank you, Jim. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon, and good afternoon to everyone. And thank you to the Maryland Historical Trust for this recognition and for your continued commitment to preserving the places that tell Maryland's story. On behalf of the City of Frederick, I want to congratulate everyone involved in the Visitation Hotel project on receiving this Excellence in Preservation Award, and especially want to acknowledge you, Jim, as the lead developer and co-owner and principal investor of O2 Holdings, and Lance, co-developer, lead architect for this project. This award represents something important. It recognizes projects that do not simply restore historic buildings, but thoughtfully rehabilitate them in ways that honor their history while creating new purpose for future generations. And the Visitation Hotel is an extraordinary example of that work. What was once a convent, a girls' school, even time as a Civil War hospital, has been transformed through adaptive reuse into a destination that preserves the character and the history of the site while bringing new energy and opportunity to downtown Frederick. From this chapel space and the original stained glass, which Jim mentioned, the architectural details, the historical artifacts that are displayed throughout the space, there is a clear respect for the story of this place and the people that are connected to it. And this project reminds us that preservation is not about freezing history at a moment in time. It's about giving historic places continued life and creating spaces that continue serving communities in new ways. And that's exactly what this project accomplishes. It has already become an incredible addition to Frederick's tourism and hospitality economy. It represents a nearly $30 million investment into our community and has created jobs, and it has brought Frederick its first new downtown hotel in more than 50 years. Last year, Frederick County welcomed more than 2.1 million visitors, generating more than $500 million in tourism-related revenue, and projects like this strengthen the ability to continue growing that momentum. But beyond the numbers, it says something larger about Frederick, that we value our history, we value preservation, we value and believe that historic places still matter, and we can honor our history while we continue to invest in our future. And so this project represents what's possible when vision, craftsmanship, preservation, and partnership come together in the right way. Congratulations again to everyone who helped make this remarkable project possible, and thank you for helping preserve and shape Frederick's future. Thank you. And I'd like to call up State Senator Karen Lewis-Young.
As the mayor mentioned, this project is so symbolic of the city of Frederick's history. We have managed to preserve our past while becoming a very modern, innovative city. This project, like our city's history, was done with creativity, innovation, and great investment, understanding that the best returns require significant investment. The mayor mentioned the long history of this building and that we have not had a downtown hotel in 50 years. Happened to be talking to the mayor that was in office 50 years ago, who told me the population then was about 23,000 people. So the city has increased fourfold since that time, yet this is the first downtown hotel. Just imagine how we could have grown, how much more economic development we could have had there been a downtown hotel sooner. Not that all of us haven't been working on it for a while. It's just incredible how this facility in the heart of downtown has appealed to people of all ages, yet retained such historic significance. The incredible level of detail that went into this, the planning and the preservation is amazing. So many corridors and doorways were preserved throughout the building, making this project's transformation unique. Also, the interior design has subtle and yet very clever acknowledgments of the past throughout. I understand that the hotel has displayed over 1,200 pieces. Thank you. There must be something in the air today. Anyway, I was saying over 1,200 pieces of student memorabilia. So hopefully those students will come back and appreciate that. The other thing that I think is very unique and helpful to our local economy about this development is that it deliberately hired local, regional woodworkers, stonemasons, metal workers, and artists to do custom work throughout this project. So there again, local economic development jobs, but hiring those people who are residents of our region that would have a unique understanding of the historical significance. So I will leave up here a citation from District 3 in recognition of the excellence in this rehabilitation. And the award recognizes the evolution from the former school to its current purpose, which is certainly something needed in downtown Frederick. Thank you, everyone who has been a part of it. And for those of you who recognized this effort and how spectacular it truly is. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. As Jim said, my name is Elizabeth Hughes. I'm the director of the Maryland Historical Trust. I'm happy to say that I am joined here by one of our members of our trustees. We have a board of trustees of the Maryland Historical Trust, and Tom Vitanza is here, who is our Montgomery County representative to the trust. So thank you, Tom, for being with us. Since 1975, MHT has recognized projects that demonstrate how historic buildings can be thoughtfully adapted for new uses while preserving their historic character. I want to thank all of you for being here today as we recognize the team behind an outstanding example of rehabilitation and adaptive reuse here in downtown Frederick. It's my honor to present the 2026 Maryland Preservation Award for Excellence in Rehabilitation to the team behind the work at Visitation Hotel Frederick. For more than 160 years, the former Visitation Academy campus served as a place of education, worship, and community life in downtown Frederick. The site also played an important role during the Civil War when it was used as a hospital. When the school closed, the future of this prominent landmark was uncertain. Through rehabilitation, the campus has been carefully adapted into a hotel and public gathering space while retaining the character and history that make it significant. The project team took a thoughtful approach to balancing preservation and new use, making effective use of Maryland's Historic Rehabilitation Tax Credit Program to support the rehabilitation of the property. And not only state historic tax credits were used, but also federal rehabilitation tax credits. And I have to say about the state program, we heard from our tax credit reviewer, Dana, who's here today, how special this project was and how much she enjoyed working on it. So it's really exciting to be here to see all the things she told our staff about what it was like working on this project. I also want to say about the Rehabilitation Tax Credit Program that we wouldn't have that program available for projects like this if it wasn't for the support from the Maryland General Assembly. So thank you, Senator, for being here today. Historic places, including the chapel and other interior architectural features, were carefully restored and incorporated into the hotel experience. Throughout the property, furnishings, photographs, and artifacts connected to the school's history, which we heard about a moment ago, which help interpret the site's past and maintain a strong sense of continuity with its earlier use. As the first new hotel in downtown Frederick in decades, the project has also contributed to the city's ongoing economic development and heritage tourism efforts. Just as importantly, it has ensured that this landmark remains an active and visible part of the downtown community. The Visitation Frederick project demonstrates how adaptive reuse can preserve historic character while creating new opportunities for public engagement and long-term sustainability. On behalf of the Maryland Historical Trust, I'm pleased to present the 2026 Maryland Preservation Award for Excellence in Rehabilitation to Jim O'Hare on behalf of the Visitation Hotel Frederick team. So Jim, if you'd come up, I'd just like to give this to you. This is our award, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. So, this project would not exist if not for the people in this room. Lance and I are incredibly appreciative. I remember 2014, maybe 2014 or 15, I toured Frederick with Richard Griffin, and we had talked about the possibility of a boutique hotel somewhere downtown. And he drove me around Visitation, and at the time the school was operating and it was still closed. The nuns here were cloistered, and so the fences were up, and there was an iron gate at the driveway that we now use. And so all I could see of the property was through a little keyhole in the metal gate. And so here I was peeking into the girls' school through that little opening. I'm sure that was not kind of a good way to start the project. But nonetheless, Richard called me 2 years later and he said, Visitation is going to close, unfortunately, but it does mean the property is going to be for sale. So at that time, Lance and I got together and we applied for the MHT grant, which we received. So that $3 million makes this project and others like it possible. But it's not just the money. So, when you take on a project like this, you face all sorts of challenges, and those challenges exist when you're dealing with historic properties. But what we didn't realize is that we would be facing challenges of a biblical nature. So, and by that, what I mean is, we got the property entitled in 2019. In 2020, early 2020, just as we were going out for financing, the pandemic happened. So we had a 2-year delay because of that. And then we got financing. We're under construction. And then April 1, 2023, we had a really massive fire. We were very fortunate with the fire. It was... as fires go, no one was hurt. The property damage was very significant, but because it happened on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock when everybody was out and about, people saw it right away. They called us and called the fire department, and so the property was saved. But we were able to overcome those major obstacles because the city, the state, and MHT all became our partners and worked with us in ways that big and small. You know, they allowed us to amend plans. We resubmitted for permits, and all of this was processed very quickly. We got extensions from MHT to allow us time to finish the project. And then we were pleased to open the hotel in December of 2024. So really a wonderful thing for us. And we're so grateful for all of your support. We're grateful for this award, and we look forward to many successful years as part of the Frederick community. So thanks again. Thank you.